Hey, Grace Church, this is Pastor Chelsea, and I am leading this week's resources on our 12 weeks of grace, a journey toward anti-racism. This week, we are talking about whiteness. We are talking about white fragility. We are talking about white privilege, and we are doing so in this second week of our series because we recognize that we are predominantly white congregation. We have some diversity among us, but predominantly we are a white congregation. And so before we can really dive into this work of anti-racism, before we can really engage deeply in this work, we need to take some time to say this is where we are coming from. We need to take some time that says, yes, my privilege and my power in any situation because of my whiteness affects how I see the world. And so this week for our resources, we are encouraging you all to take a listen to Robin DiAngelo. And she has written a book titled White Fragility. And it is titled that because she talks about how even just the slightest things, even just the slightest criticisms or critique of white people when it comes to race often sends us off, often puts us into this spiral of, well, I'm not racist and I would never say that, or, well, I have this friend who said that. And Robin DiAngelo talks about that. She talks about how that is often our first response as white people in this conversation, and what our first response should be, or the first response that she invites us into, is a response of receiving whatever has just been said to us around race, to reflect on it, to say, where is that coming from for the person who said it, and what is coming up in me, and then to change our behavior, to say, I have received that comment, I have reflected on it, and this is how I am going to change moving forward. This is how I am going to shift my behavior, my thought, my speech, so that it may be different going forward. And so we know that last week we invited you to dive into How to Be an Anti-Racist by Ibram Kendi. And we hope that you have purchased that book. We hope that you are a couple of chapters in. And so I'm not going to recommend that you read another book right now, because I want you to focus on Kendi's work of How to Be an Anti-Racist. But Robin DiAngelo's work of White Fragility is a great piece of work. And so hope that after you finish How to Be an Anti-Racist, that you might pick up Robin DiAngelo's White Fragility. But in the meantime, she has shared a 20-minute video that our General Commission on Religion and Race, a branch of the United Methodist Church, has launched. And so this video is about 20 minutes long, and it is really an interview style with Robin DiAngelo. And so I hope that this week that you will listen to that interview, that you will just pay attention to what comes up in you, that you will pay attention to how you receive her words, and maybe jot down words and phrases that stick out to you, things that made you uncomfortable, things that you had never heard before. Our hope is that you learn something new about whiteness and about white power and white privilege in that video. And again, that you would practice in this week of receiving, of reflecting, and of then changing behavior. Friends, we are grateful to be on this journey together. We hope that after spending some time with these resources on whiteness this week, that you will join us on Monday afternoon at 1:30 as Reverend Jim leads our conversation and our small group around these resources. As always, if you have questions, if you have responses, if you just want to talk with someone as you are going through this journey, know that we as a pastoral staff are here, and we are grateful for each of you. Have a great week.